All right, so we're back here again to do another Week to Wicked, and Jegs brought us this pretty cool 87 Monte Carlo.
1987 SS Monte Carlo Aerocoupe.
It is the Aerocoupe, and although it looks like it may perform, I'm pretty sure it won't. So we got a whole bunch of parts to throw at this car, but first Steve and I are gonna get in the car, take it for a test drive, and see what it does.
Yep.
What's up with the funky back window on this thing?
Oh yeah, well this is the 87 Aerocoupe, and the Aerocoupe came about in 86 because NASCAR, back then NASCAR had real cars.
Yeah.
Unlike today when they're all fake.
So they had to build a certain amount of cars.
So they had to build
production cars.
They had to build 200 of them. So in 1986, General Motors made 200. So they had most famously Dale Earnhardt. He had that Wranglers one.
All about aerodynamics.
It knocked down the coefficient of drag and made a difference because Dale came out and kicked ass in that Wrangler car.
Yeah.
Then in 87, they made like this is an 87. They made like 6,000 of them. And then they didn't make any more, so that's it. There's only 6,300 of these things ever made.
We chose the 87 Monte Carlo based off the G-body foundation. We wanted something a little different. Everybody's doing the Camaros and Mustangs. The G-body's kind of been a neglected platform for a little bit. There's a lot of products out there available for it. We've got tons of stuff on the shelf for them, so we wanted to basically show our customers how easy it is to build with just basic bolt-on, bolt-off stuff, and how you can turn an ordinary car, even an old tired one, into something that'll knock your socks off and turn some corners.
Freaking T-tops. This thing screams 1980s. With 21,201 miles on it. So this thing, like I said, I think it's been repainted. Someone went through it and cleaned it up. But I do believe this is a lot of this interior is all new. Unfortunately, they installed this.
The funny thing about these cars is they're always underpowered and over-assisted.
Oh yeah.
When the power steering's over-assisted, the brakes are over-assisted.
Yeah, there's no feedback from that steering at all.
No.
It's just dead back and forth.
Got a whole 180 horsepower.
Yeah, it's got 180 horsepower, 305. The engine everyone loves to hate. It's got all the smog equipment in the day.
So you turn the AC on.
Oh yeah,
drop
that
down
car.
to 160 horsepower.
Yeah, you probably lose a half second after a quarter mile time.
We decided to partner up with Week to Wicked. We've seen a couple of shows, got really excited about it, and want to come out to the West Coast and tear one apart in 5 days and just show the customer that stuff off the shelf. In 5 days, you can transform it and be rolling on the weekend.
But it's trying to pretend it has a big cam in it.
We're floored.
Yeah. Hey, you're passing the Yaris, so that's something.
Well, I guess we could get this thing back in the shop, tear it down.
It's just vague steering, and I mean the only thing NASCAR about this car was that back window. Yeah. Everything else is just kind of terrible.
Well, in their defense, they didn't use anything but that back window in NASCAR. Yeah, everything else was switched out.
Yeah, I know.
First big part off the car, yeah. All of our magazines do a Week to Wicked, and basically got a week to build a car. I like to do it in 5 days. That way I can head over to Johnny's Saloon, get me some pizza, some beer on Saturday. So don't want to be working on the car on Saturday. So what we do on Monday is dismantle the car, install all the suspension and all the brakes. That way it's back to a rolling chassis. On Tuesday, we get the fuel system installed, engine and trans, and measure for a drive shaft. On Wednesday, we come in, we get the steering all wrapped up, radiator goes in, coolant lines, get the tranny lines going, and the whole fuel system. On Thursday, we come in and we catch up with anything we need to from Monday to Wednesday. We've fallen behind a little bit, and then we get the exhaust system installed. And now by Friday, hopefully all we have left is wheels, tires, fluids, fire it up, take it out for a drive.
So we're installing our level 3 handling package on the car. The overall goal with this kit is to make the car handle much better than factory and give us some ride height adjustability. So, we're gonna be able to lower this car down, get it sitting nice over the 17-inch wheels, and just the improved ride quality and performance and handling is that's really what we're looking at with this.
So in the Monte Carlo build, we're doing the Bear Pro Plus brakes. That is our most popular 6-piston brake. So you've literally got 3 pistons on either side of the rotor squeezing down effectively on those calipers to make sure you've got real stopping power. This car is going to be interesting because with those Pro Plus calipers front and rear attached to the QA1 suspension up front on that Curry 9-inch in the back, this will actually have better braking than that Monte Carlo would have had it been a NASCAR racer back in 1987. So these guys are going to get the opportunity to get a car that when you put on the brakes, it just settles down like nobody's business. You'll all want to take a ride in when you get a chance.
All right, so it's the end of day one. Brakes and suspension are on the car. We even started the rack and pinion conversion. Feeling pretty good about our progress, so we'll get back at it tomorrow. All right, so it's the beginning of day two. Bill is wrapping up the brakes. We still have the engine and trans install. Finish up the steering, so let's get going.
Telemarketers. Let me turn like this. These are pretty cool, bro. Check it out. I'd have to have a light here or here, but now I have them here. What do you think about that? It's like looking into the future with these. I suggest you get some. The future of this car, let me see, hold on, I need to shut these off again. That car is going to be doing burnouts by the end of this Friday. That's what I see.
You know, it's real important when you're doing an engine like this that you look at all the little things you need, because everyone thinks, you know, the engine and the transmission and everything, but a drive system's really important. They give you like a 6-rib serpentine pulley system that's going to handle the extra horsepower from the engine. Kind of rule of thumb I use is a rib per 100 horsepower. So, you know, if you're putting out 500 horsepower and you're trying to run that through a V-belt, you know, you're going to have problems with the belt slipping and stuff. For this build, Jegs sent us over a drive system from All American Billet, 6061 T6 aluminum. And it's made in America, so it's USA made. You'd hope so with a name like All American Billet, and it is. It's All American, and it's made right here.
All right, so now it's time we're going to put the converter into the transmission. I've already pre-filled the converter with automatic transmission fluid. It's very important to make sure this engages all the way in there. The last step would be the pump. And if you don't get that all the way into the pump and you put the transmission in there, one, it's gonna be hard to turn the converter to the flex plate, but two, you'll break the pump and you'll be pulling the transmission back out. So what I do is get it up in there, and you gotta do it kind of quick because like I said, it is full of fluid. Turn and apply pressure. There's another one, and there's the other one. So that's all the way in there. And if you just wanna double check, get a straight edge, and you can kind of pull it back, figure out where you are, and that's adjusted up pretty well. And then you can transfer that same measurement over to the edge of the block to your flex plate just to make sure you're in there far enough. And that will tell you everything you need to know.
Okay, our ATK 383s, 4L60s finally getting its new home. Yeah, when this thing's finally in, this motor will really bring this car back to life. We're going from 100-ish horsepower to 500 horsepower. So hopefully we don't twist anything too hard.
All right, so it's the end of day 2 and engine and trans is installed. All the plumbing of the brakes is finished. So we're gonna get in here early, install the fuel injection. So let's get out of here. All right, beginning of day 3, and Damon here from QA1 is gonna show us the proper way to measure for a drive shaft. Without drive shaft, we're not going anywhere.
No, not without pushing it.
Nope. So
we've got
walk us through this.
We've got the rear suspension loaded, mocked up at ride height. So you always want to get your measurements with the car at ride height, not at full droop or full compression on the suspension. So first thing that we want to do, let's check our U-joint cap diameter here. So we want to measure across the caps. We're looking at about 1 1/8 inches. And then the cross diameter or cross width as well. We're looking at 3 5/8 on that.
2 very important.
So that way we can get the correct U-joints.
Yep.
Now we want to measure from the pinion yoke to the back of the seal on the output shaft, or on the tail shaft. We've got 52 7/8 inches.
Is that to the output shaft or to the seal?
To the seal.
Okay. What was it again? 52 and what?
52 7/8.
Okay. Okay.
So now we're going to measure to the back of the output shaft itself. And we're looking at 52 1/2.
Easy enough.
And if you don't know what the spline count is on your transmission, you want to count those. A lot of transmissions do have a master spline, and that's actually to help breathe when the slip yoke plunges in. So, for example, on a GM 4L60E, that's a 27 spline output shaft, and depending on the output shaft or the slip yoke, it may only actually have 26 splines.
Okay.
So keep that in mind.
Yep. The more information I'm
Yes.
guessing you give you guys,
The easier it's going to be to make sure that we build the correct drive shaft
Absolutely.
for your application.
you don't want to ship it back.
No. Unfortunately, with a carbon fiber drive shaft, there's very little room to modify that.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that you want to get right the first time. And we double check all of the measurements. We send everything back to engineering, have them go through it. They verify critical speed and just double check it.
Perfect.
So when you get this drive shaft, it should be able to bolt in your car, no issues.
Well, you know what I like about this is you took the measurements. If they're messed up, you're gonna have to come back out and visit us.
All right, won't be the end of the world.
Jegs started in 1960 with Jeg Coughlin Sr. He was really into hot rods and cars, and he would order parts out of California for himself and build stuff. And that's kind of how Jeg started rolling. He'd order some parts, sell them to buddies, help fix their cars, and then he went into a machine shop and full chassis shop. Went from a small retail shop in downtown Columbus to over 200,000 square feet facility and about 300 employees. And we've got a good group of people that work for us. You know, we've got some employees that have been there 30, even 40 years. All the family's racers. Jeg, multi-time Pro Stock World Champion. Troy, Pro Mod World Champion. You know, there's a lot of Wallies in that family. And I'm super proud to work for them. That's a big reason why I joined their organization. You know, growing up as a kid, I was a drag racer. My dad was. And to join a family like that was, you know, it was an honor, and I'm really proud to work for them. A lot of the stuff we have on the shelf, we race that stuff. We use it every weekend, we pound it, we try to break it, and it keeps coming through for us. So when we tell a customer, you know, this is what you need. It'll get you down the track. It'll get you down the street. You can guarantee it. We got a word on that one.
All right, guys, we're installing the new Bear Remaster, and we're putting that on in place of the factory master cylinder here. So what we're going to do is two things. We have two types of fittings available on this. We can use a conventional tapered seat or a banjo fitting. Now, with a tapered seat fitting, we provide these little brass seats. Now, those little brass seats want to be just dropped down inside the port. And then I want to make sure that that seat fits all the way down square. So I'm just using this screwdriver just to make sure that seat fell all the way down inside. So once that's down like that, these are my pre-bent fittings, but I'll just keep that seat in place with this fitting here and hold that in place for now. Now, the second key thing for installing the Remaster on this Monte Carlo, there are two depths and two lengths of push rods that are used on these cars. This is a short one. There's also a long one. How do I know which is which? I look at my factory master cylinder and see that this is very close out to the end. So this is shallow, so this is a short version. Now, because there are two lengths, with Bear, we provide this what we call a bullet. So you can see the hole here is deep and goes all the way down. So to make it into a shallow, I just drop this in like this, and now I've got the correct depth for my push rod, so I'll have full power to the brakes and a full stroke on the pedal, and that's all there is to it.
So we brought our classic EFI system, which is our 30,020. Handles up to 650 horsepower. It's a beautiful classic gold color. Along with that, we brought our new Command Center 2, which is the 40,004. Also, a really neat piece of work that we've got. It's got no needles, no floats. It's a return system. Has a 340 liter per hour pump in it. But one of our newest items that I brought with us is our new stainless steel braided hose line kit with true flow fittings. What I brought today was the black version, but we also have a natural, stainless steel color. With the black stainless that we've got, or even with your regular stainless, it's easy to clean. It's always going to look good. It never will fray. But what makes it so unique is the true flow fittings. Typically, most people are very familiar with the traditional AN fitting, where you have a step down, where it'll be brazed, step down into a smaller tube, and then it goes back out to a larger, port import. With these, the inside diameter is the same as the hose, which is a -6. So you don't have any spikes in your fuel pressures.
All right, so it's the end of day 3. Christian's inside the car wrapping up the retro sound stereo install. We're gonna stay a little late tonight working on the EFI system, so stay tuned.
Stephen, we're up here with Super Chevy. We're here with Zach from Jegs, and we're day 4 of the Week to Wicked build. We're tired. We're kind of getting over this whole thing. But we're pushing through. Exhaust, that's kind of one of the, towards the end of the project kind of things.
It's the tricky part.
It's the tricky part because the exhaust is hard because, it's usually designed on a stock car, and then people go mess with their car and try to make everything fit. But we have a lot of parts here from your catalog. And so tell us what we got here.
These are Jegs headers, stainless steel tubing, ceramic coated, 5/16 thick flanges, smooth mandrel bends.
And then we have stainless tubing, 2.5 inch.
Yep, full mandrel belt. This is for the G-body platform. Chambered mufflers, stainless steel.
And it's already been set up for.
Yep, slip joints, and you can weld it if you want, but it comes with clamps.
Comes with clamps and hangers and the whole deal.
Yes, sir.
And collectors and adapters and everything. And then a stainless muffler.
Yes, yep. Chambered muffler, turbo style. Gives it that good throaty street sound.
Cool. So like I said, we got a lot of parts to get on this car. We're running out of time. So let's stop talking and get working and make this car on the road.
Yes, sir.
you know, the tech center out here, we build a lot of cars out there. You know, Jason and Chris, they're always got some project going and stuff. Some are real quick, they're in and out fast, and some are long-term projects like Jason's Nova and some stuff. But yeah, one of the ones you always see out there is my 68 Camaro. We call it Track Rat. You know, we do week to wicked. It's, you know, we get this car and in, you know, 5 to 7 days, we knock that thing out. We joke, you know, mine's the decade to wicked. I think I've been working on that car for 10 years now. But it's really close to being done. But it's a pro touring build. So it's, you know, really big tires. I think they're 315s, really big brakes, really big engine. It's a 440-inch LS engine, made about, I think it was 670 horsepower and, you know, almost an equal amount of torque. So, you know, it's a big engine, 6-speed manual. It's built for the track, hence the name. You can go on Jegs and they have almost everything you could think of on that site, which really helps move a build like our Track Rat. It's a cool car. It's going to be real fun to drive. Looks good. We widened the back, so the back quarter panels have been pulled out, so it gives it kind of a wide body look from the back. Full cage. Hope to do some standing mile stuff with it and a lot of track work, autocross stuff. I'm just looking forward to getting it on the road.
I have a couple hot rods already, and it was time to build another one. My wife really wanted a car, and she really wanted a Nova, early Nova. So a 63 Nova came up. It was at the right time. It was not in very good shape. It was actually really rotted out. Didn't have any drivetrain, which was okay because I wasn't going to use the original stuff anyhow. Took the car down to a buddy's shop out in Arizona called Superstition Restoration, and we did all the sheet metal in a week. Brought the car back home, and it was time to build it. So started with a full chassis under the car, surrounded with QA1 shocks, air brakes. I did a whole floater rear end, which Bear Brakes supplied. 9-inch in the rear, Trimix 6-speed, and then we did a LSX blown engine. Makes over 800 horsepower. Now that we added that blower to the car, I had to keep the air temps down. Well, there was no packaging for an intercooler in that car. So what we did is went back to Holley, and they did a 2-stage water meth system on it. So as there's more boost being brought to the engine, the mass sensor detects that, it sprays water meth into the intake system, which cools down the air temps. But to make all that work really good, I wanted to add a little more weight to the rear of the car, so I cut the firewall out, recessed the engine back 6 inches, and we had a really good platform. We had a really good drivetrain going. From there, I did all the sheet metal in the engine bay, added some accents to the hood, and really kept the car kind of stock outside of that as far as the grille. Tucked the bumpers in a little bit and raised them front and rear, but stock lighting, grille, rear bumper, all that good stuff. We did shave the drip rails just because the car was rotted out, so it was easier to shave the drip rails, add the sheet metal we needed, and then get the body work done. From there, on interior side, we did a digital dash from Holley, which is really cool. So the car really started out to be more of a mild build for my wife, and it kind of escalated and snowballed into more of a car that we can road course race, autocross, and drive to the grocery store. So with that, I was promised I could race the car a little bit, and then it's her car to drive to work and back, go get groceries, have fun with it around the streets. So, and that's where we got with the car. It's the end of day 4, and boy, I'm exhausted. See you guys tomorrow. All right, so it's finally day 5, and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. In fact, that's all I can see right now. Jesus. All right, so it's day 5. As you can see, we got some wires still hanging. Christian's over here working, tightening up some starter. We're gonna get the car back down on the ground, get the wheels on it, get the fuel injection guys back in here, so let's get going.
Well, we got the motor in day 5, buttoning everything up. We got the distributor going in. It's the Jegs SSR3 ready to run distributor. It does not require an external ignition box. It's got a built-in module, and it's a small diameter cap, so you got a lot of clearance for firewall. It's got the built-in vacuum advance on it, and we're going to swap over some of the pieces that come on the ATK with some of the Jegs dress-up items like the valve covers and transmission pans and such, because we're going for kind of a stealthy all-black look under the hood. We don't want a lot of bling, a lot of chrome on this one. It's silver on the outside, so when you raise the hood, it's all going to be black underneath. A lot of, not shiny black, but good satin black, racer black. Once we get all the little loose wires tied in, we can finally hook up that Optima battery and throw juice through the entire system and hit that starter button and bring our motor to life.
All right, so Mike got a little bit excited and started filling up the transmission. Well, before we had the drive shaft in, and well, so we made about a quart and a half of a mess on the ground, no big deal, all cleaned up, ready to rock.
3-6 for Dale.
Almost all these cars come in rolling on small wheels, old tires, kind of stuff that looks dated. And our Monte Carlo looked like it came right out of 1987, you know, running big sidewall tires and stock wheels. So we talked to Jegs and we ended up going with their old school line of wheels. And they're cool. They're a 5-spoke. In 10 years, they won't look outdated. They're not some flash in the pan wheel. It's also wrapped in a good tire. We're running a Mickey Thompson street comp tire. It's 300 tread wear, so it's not so soft that it's going to wear out fast, but it's soft enough where it's going to give you the grip in the corners. So it's a good performance tire that isn't going to wear out so fast that you're out buying tires all the time. And the RSS has a graphics kit already on the car, so the wheels tie in nice to that. And just for a little bit extra, we hit up Phoenix Graphics in Chandler, Arizona, and they sent us over kind of a replacement Monte Carlo SS, but with the Jegs logo on there and done in the Jegs yellow for the door of the car.
Oh, look at the oil pressure while I crank it. Ready?
Let's see if we got any suction on the pump.
Okay.
We might have them backwards.
When we went to first start the car, we were having issues with fuel. We weren't getting any fuel pressure. So the manual pump on the engine feeds the Phytech pump in the command center too. And we weren't getting fuel to either one of them. So we thought maybe the suction sign on the manual pump wasn't good and it was a bad pump, so we switched pumps out, having the same issue. Come to find out, we just kind of needed to bleed the air out of the system into the first pump, so we forced air into the gas tank, which pushed the fuel up to the first pump. And once that pump got fuel pressure, it pumped into the command center from the Phytech system, which is the high pressure pump that feeds the fuel injection, which is about 58 pounds, and everything was good to go. So when we first got the car started, there was a bunch of smoke. and Christians thought there was another fire, like the last one, I said,
Not today! We ain't gonna be in no fire, not today.
it's day 5, 11:46. It's been a long ass day, but we finally wrapped this car up. Let's check it out. Done deal?
Okay, well we're back in the Monte Carlo Aerocoupe.
Well, the build's over. Now we can test out the new QA1 suspension.
Well, hey, the brakes work better.
Yeah.
Because
one thing I definitely noticed, it sounds better and got a lot more power.
Yeah, it sounds great. Before it sounded like, well, it didn't sound like anything. It sounded quiet.
Yeah. But it's definitely a lot tighter. Steering's quicker.
Whoa.
Got some power now.
You know, maybe a little too much power for you. I don't know. We got radio.
Yeah.
So the radio didn't work before, so now we got the new audio
Retro
system
sound.
in there. Retro sound system in there. So I still think we need to, you know, maybe dial in the shocks a little bit, do a little adjustments on that.
Yeah, but that's the good thing about the QA1 stuff. It's all adjustable.
Yeah.
Just the
so we can
rebound, the compression.
firm it up. You keep it all like this when you're just cruising.
Yeah.
Of course, these seats help too. They're pretty cushy. But we'll keep the and then stiffen them up for the track or
The
for
brakes are definitely way better.
All right. Well, cool deal. Well,
See if it launches.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Not a problem. If you want to wear out a set of back tires, there shouldn't be any issue whatsoever.